Can you hear?
Danielle?
Okay.
Good morning.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Rapoka.
Good morning.
We seem to be getting good signal these days from your video. Koru Rapoka te manakuia. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
I might be a little bit distant from the computer. Let me bring it closer.
Yeah.
Ta'u te manakuia, she's just on her way to the other place where we have been doing the work. I will give you a little briefing on that too as we begin together.
Okay.
So, Koru Rapoka, we have two that are with the haka now. Lynn and Samadhi have done the haka.
I'm learning.
Yep.
I'm learning, but I'm so dyslexic. It's very difficult for me to, and I dance, okay, but it's difficult for me to follow the instruction because I'm so dyslexic. So it's difficult. In time, I will do it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I was dyslexic too, but it's awkward when you're first learning, but you get it. You put it out there.
I'll get it.
Yeah, Lynn has
Yes.
Lynn has offered to share it with, so we may share it with you today.
Good.
And hers and Hamadi. So we get to see, we get to see the efforts, but let's wait a few more minutes before we log in. I know Vera is on her way, and perhaps Hahi may be able to make it. I haven't checked in with him this week. I trust you all had a good week.
Yeah, it was busy, but yeah. Uh-oh, there's that Stylo 2V.
That must be Samadhi. Hamati, is that you? Let me text her on that. Because she did that with that before. Yes, it's really exciting over these next 2 weeks. We get completed here, and then I head to Switzerland to Eve. We have setting up our schedule for April over there to begin. I'm going to begin in Uganda at Lake Victoria. So some exciting, yes, I got to do the water blessing at Lake Victoria.
Wow.
Place the greenstone in there and then close the vortex there in the portal in that lake.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to the Nile to Egypt to receive a blessing there, and then to activate the door of fire in that region. This is only going to take a few days, over a few days, Uganda and the Nile, and then back to Switzerland. And then we get ready to calculate our movements for the butterfly, all the doors in the apex. So I know that Eve has requested a protocol that will turn the light off at the Black Forest, or absolutely keep it keep it into the night magic, so to speak. And you're probably familiar with that, Danielle, the night magic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
She wishes to utilize the night magic, and then when we return in September, to disconnect the night magic and turn the light on for the apex.
Oh, that long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a long one. That's and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But she seemed to think that's okay, so I trust her judgment on that. As a compass. Mati. Somebody, can you hear me? Hello? Somebody, can you hear me? Put my headphones on. Oh, that's very loud. So, where's Lynn? I mean, where's Vera? Let me check on Vera. Well, we're at the 5th weekend already.
Yes.
Wow.
One more.
One more. Before when we log in, I would like to recap with you through this series, and then speak to what's coming forward, and double check the protocols with you, what we need, what you need, in case I've missed something. Sabari will be back, but I don't know what this thing is. Oh, well, let's just log in. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, come and log in with us. Okay. Let me just bring come to the speaker with the headphones so you can log in with everyone here. Can you hear me clearly enough?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ta'ute Manakuya will join us in the login. We have Wapua Te Whaia, Kaururapo Te Manakuya, Ta'ute Manakuya, myself, another Vera is on her way, Tikapuno Te Whaia is on her way, and Amati is giving it another attempt. So in that understanding, I can see them. I can see all who have been participating. I can see all who have been with the login. I can, I pretty much be happy to one day say all the names. One day say all the names, and maybe one day haka all the names. If not all, then I will give it a good go. I encourage them. Hi, somebody.
Hello.
Can hear you. Very good. We're going to log in right now, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Perfect timing. Tihei Mauriora. Grateful for the breath. Ite ingoa.
Tihe
Ingwa.
oyoha.
Te whaia.
The ingoa.
The fire.
The fire.
Te tama.
The tama.
The tama.
Te matua.
The matua.
The matua.
Te wairua tapu.
Wairua tapu.
The wa.
Ite ingoa.
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 Tama.
The tama.
Tama.
Te matua.
The matua.
Te whaia.
The matua.
The fire.
The fire.
Te wairua tapu.
The wairua
The
tapu.
wayo.
Ite ingoa.
Ingoa.
The ingoa.
Te matua.
The matua.
The mat.
Te whaia.
The fire.
The fire.
Te tama.
The tama.
The tama.
Te wairua tapu.
The wairua tapu.
The wayo.
We are grateful that we could be here today. Thank you so much. So grateful for the Waikara Masters to be coming forward and into the session number five of our teachings and our stories, our sharing. Following this, we will have the final Waikara Masters, and then also the gifting of the certificate and the gifting of the identification to be able to speak and to speak on behalf of the work we do. And so with this, I am grateful. Moriora.
Moriora.
Let me get started here. I will go back to my headphones so I can be in privacy with it. Okay. I would like to just to recap and go over a list of protocols that you have, and just to check off the list, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. We still need to add one more. So we went over the Apex protocol for transmutation. Were there any questions on that?
No.
So you're you're comfortable with placing the kawa. So the kawa gets placed with the kotahara, and then you scribe the primary. Let me just speak to that a minute, because this past week I anchored Venus to a building. You might have seen the post, maybe. It was very, very powerful. There's a healing center that's being put together that we're a part of, in the sense that we have. I was invited to help with the symbols and the energies and the selection of crystals that's going to be put into the floors there, and the symbols that will be scribed into the floors, the ceiling, and on the roof of this building. It's a wonderful cube, it's a cube building, square, and offers its geometrics to all the directions, and also to the ability to land pillars and anchor pillars, anchor portals, and anchor the Metatron cube geometric there. So some of those are still coming forward, but the main one that we completed, and this was Eve and I, the other day, which was a 1-1. Eve and I did the protocol, the Apex protocol, at 1 p.m. my time, which was 10 p.m. her time. So on the 1-1, the light code hit for us on the time zone of 1-1 as well. So it was a very, the funny thing too is I was walking up the stairs to the second floor, and I picked up a coin, a penny. It was a 1 penny. So I had 1 penny, and shortly before that, for lunch, I was on my way back to the building. We were going back there, and right in front of me on the ground was 1 penny. So I had 2 1 pennies, which was the 1-1. Excuse my fingers, and then it was a 1-1 day, and then my time code was 1 p.m. and Eve's was 10 p.m., which was a 1. So we had just 6 1s in our code that day to anchor Venus into the building. Hi, it's good to see you.
Hi.
And so we're just catching up on going through the protocols, and if left anything out, and also to add more. But I was just talking about the protocol for anchoring Venus. And so I was by myself on the second floor in the hallway. The stairwell that I entered in came in from the west, and from the south, and I was heading north. As I entered up the stairwell at the top, it was the north apex. In other words, I was standing in the apex. I placed the kawa on a seat. So I grabbed this little seat, and I placed the kawa on that. So I put the image, a printed image of the symbol of Venus right on the seat. It was just a piece of paper. Then I placed over that piece of paper, I placed the kawa, the kotahara. So I used the kotahara for my base. So all crystal, entire crystal base. That's why I used the kotahara for the kawa. So I don't carry crystals around with me. I just lay the kotahara. Then I scribe the primary, mother, child, father, eternal memory, in exactly the form that you're familiar with now. As we've lovingly be simply calling it the primary. And so scribing the primary into the kotahara, as you've seen by the images you've seen over the last few weeks. I wrote the intention of what I wanted for that day, for that moment, for that time code. And my exact words on the piece of paper were anchor Venus, anchor liberate Hollywood, anchor peace and love, and to this building, because this building is the business is called Liberate Hollywood. And so then I also made sure that I spoke it backwards. So anchor Venus to Liberate Hollywood, anchor Venus to the primary, anchor Venus for peace and love. And so as I began that, I logged in. Boy, mine, and I logged in as I began. I placed that intention on a piece of paper at the center of the kawa. Then I began to speak that intention after I logged in, and massive energy behind me was building up. Because I was standing facing the south, but I was standing in the apex facing the kawa. I had already laid a perimeter around me in that hallway, so I dropped kotahara around a few sprays of the mother's water, and then the vortex started already moving. And as I was speaking, I felt huge beings standing behind me, but I had my eyes closed. Just really massive energies of beings. I did not want to stop and turn around and go hello. I just carried on. got through the intentions, and then did the final log. And I did look behind me after that, and I felt the presence. Didn't see anything. So just to be sure, I did some more water again to make sure that it wasn't anything other than was supposed to be there. And then it dissipated. But I felt what I saw and what I felt in my closed eye, the connection to Eve through the water. Just before I spoke the login, I sprayed the mother's water over the koa, and that water connected Eve and I at both ends, because she had her hand in water at the other end in the bowl of water. Now, we didn't discuss that at all. We didn't even talk about putting the water there. But she had automatically done that, and I had automatically sprayed the koa. So we were already connecting to the water. And now her story that I would like her to share with you at some stage, if she would, had some incredible imagery. So as a result of 2 time zones, myself and Eve, the Apex protocol, in my mind, my heart, my feelings, the vibrations, everything I felt, and it's starting to permeate through other confirmations that we anchored Venus, or we anchored that building in the pipeline to Venus. She calls it a highway. Eve calls it like a highway, and all manner of divine beings to traverse that highway. And so the wonderful imagery that she speaks. So that's confirmed. Have you had an opportunity to apply the Apex protocol as yet?
I had that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
That was the only time.
Okay. And that's
very powerful.
Yes. And that was by yourself on one time zone, Kodorapaka?
Right. Yes, by myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's when I could. Yeah.
What I would like to offer you all is an opportunity to log in on a synchronized code and do it together. And you'll find, you'll see how the power increases the more kidneys you add to this. The more kidneys you add to this, the triple the power, like, if there's 3 of you. So if you take a look at the primary itself, it's 3 points. Now just add 3 people. Have 3 people, 3 time zones, and your focus would be, your focus for the intention would be, let's save this on a day that is a certain memorial. Let's just say it's a day of a certain memorial that everyone understands, whether that's a Memorial Day, Veterans Day, or some kind of memorial. I will offer you the opportunity to meet on that code and apply the Apex protocol from 3 time zones, like even all 4 of you, or 5 of you. I would offer you a chance to call each other to synchronize on that. And then at that, the intention would be obviously to transmute the shadow to light, and then also offer peace and love and all the other good bits that you can think of. Write it on the paper and put it in the koa. Then also speak it when you are delivering it. But synchronize on a light code, synchronize on a time code. Give this a good practice, because it's very powerful healing across time zones, which covers the real estate. It covers the real estate between you and the other participants. So that real estate that's in the center of your protocol is receiving, absolutely, for sure, and then probably also multidimensional, but at the very least, that real estate is receiving your intentions. Now, I've heard, because I've done this before, and I've heard from one person one time said to me, the cloud caught on fire in her location, and meant that a whale came out of the cloud. There's been some interesting revelations, interesting images that come out. So I would offer that as something that you can all do together from your positions. You know, we always talk about, being there in spirit, right? We always say talk about being there in spirit. I'll tell you what, be there in the kidney and in the water, because you can do this. That's what's so wonderful about this protocol. Not just in spirit, but you can be there physically. So whenever you guys are talking and decide, I would, unless you'd like me to choose a time and a date and an event, I could do that too. Maybe it's a memorial in France that Karurapuka might like to support. Maybe it's some sort of event or celebration in Florida that he wants to support. Maybe it's because somebody poisoned the lake that you all want to come together. Maybe because of a toxic spill. Maybe that there's an oil tanker leaking off the coast of somewhere that you want to offer your assistance. Now, be there in spirit is one thing, but when you're on a time code like this, it's very powerful. There are subtle changes, and you can see it, and you'll see it in the news feeds sometimes. Sort of confirms your participation. But in any case, that's an opportunity for the apex. Were there any questions about that? Additionally, you can add other symbols and other geometrics into that apex by just simply scribing it inside the primary. Let's just say you want to put perhaps you're very good at scribing a dove. Maybe you'll scribe a dove in there for whatever reason. Maybe you'll scribe a whale for some reason. Allies, maybe you'll scribe in the ant people to assist. You can do these things, describe it right in there. That's what's wonderful about the Kotahara. It's all crystal and you can scribe on it. Try doing that to a big hard crystal. But in any case, so we have the apex, the healing lagoon. Did you catch the healing lagoon? The tub, the cleansing in the tub. You get that? That's on the video, Hahi. So you'll have to go to the video.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Yes.
And then what else? The pyramid. The pyramid is like the. Did we talk about the pyramid? I don't think we did we? No. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, let's bring the pyramid. And then this is really neat. With the pyramid, if you don't have Kotahara, take four crystals, place them in apart, like in a square. The four crystals are the base of the pyramid. And of course, this is in your mind. Now, at the center, it's similar to the apex transmutation, except that the pyramid, you can also do this on location if you have a team of people. I'll give you an example. You place the four corners of the pyramid and you have the intention to place inside it. You can match those four corners at the location of where you want to affect the change. So example, we did the Area 51 protocol, the 911. How we did that was I had asked 8 people to go and stand on this particular locations. So we had 4 corners. So we formed the base of the pyramid. This is teamwork. So 4 corners surrounding Area 51. It was about 100 miles square. I had already set the locations of where they need to stand, and so each corner we had a male and a female balance. They were there to bring the kidney to the location, and then also we had a pair, a male and a female. I had at the angel's door. At the angel's door, this is a pyramid apex protocol. So the angel's door was required to raise the apex of the pyramid through the invisible. So we couldn't have anyone enter Area 51 because they would have got shot or arrested. So we had them enter through the etherical. So I had them enter through the etherical. And all that meant was that they would go to stand in the angel's door as closest to it as they could get, which was right in the Valley of the World in Maui. There is now another place where you can stand that is under the influence of the angel's door, and that's here in Venus. So they did the protocol that was synchronized login, synchronized login, synchronized intention, and the completion was with the raising to oneness, which is the ekuhumai. The ekuhumai ngā whaia, you know? So the raising protocol was done in completion. So you can have 4 people in your team at different locations using the kawa, and then you can have 4 people surrounding the location, on location, of which you are directing your intentions at. And then if it's a pyramid apex, then you need to have someone at either the door of fire, the door of the child, or the angel's door. Any one of those 3 doors can raise the apex through the etherical. As long as you log in, the intentions in, send in whatever you want to send in to assist through the allies. So you can add the allies to this. You can add the hive mind, the ant people, the wasp general, a bumblebee, the bees, all the allies you can think of, the taniwha. You can send them into the pyramid. And then also, and speak it in the intention, and then also make sure that we have a balance at either one of the doors. And the final part of the synchronization is the raising to oneness. So you're able to go to the ekuhumai sequence together. There is audio with me singing, doing the login, and also singing the raising. Would be preferable for you to learn it, but that audio can be used if you want to synchronize everybody in different locations where you won't have a cellular signal to sync into each other. Just have a time code and playback. Time code and playback, and my voice will log you in. My voice will log you in. You can speak to log in with me on the audio at the same time, but so long as you're all synchronized on the time code. And then my voice will also supply the rising to oneness vibration, which you will learn and you can sing along with. That's really to synchronize each other in a variety of locations, because sometimes we don't have cell service or you cannot talk to each other. with pre-planning the time code and the light code. And it's a very big operation, depending on how big what the situation is and what it is you want to achieve. You know, some will be happy to go on the locations, and some will be happy to do the koa. But that is the Apex Pyramid Protocol, the raising of the oneness to complete. Any questions about that puppy?
I just felt the power of that even when you were describing it. So I can't even imagine what it's like doing it, because there was a lot of power just when you were describing it. So it was, I imagine, super effective and so beautiful.
Yes, the arrangement is incredible. You know, the more kidneys you bring to the locations, and the more you have doing the koa, it's incredible. I mean, when we did the one protocol, let's just say we were doing the bird of paradise with the pyramid, and you know, our intention was to return the crown jewels back to India. And then a month later, India was suing England for the crown jewels and the newspapers. Yeah, it was in the newspaper. So I was like, wow, I think we had a hand in that. at least a finger or a toe. I think we have part to do with that. And I would say that we didn't just show up in spirit. We showed up, you know. And this is one way to do that, to add that extra oomph and that extra energy. When you say, I'll be there in spirit, this is a very good way of doing that, not only just through meditation, but you can meditate through this protocol too. No doubt. You can be in stillness with it. But also, you know, applying the intention in this manner gives action on the ground. So there's the Apex Transmutation Protocol, tetrahedron. There's the Apex Pyramid. You're familiar with the Sky Protocol, yes?
Which one is that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So number 3, Sky Protocol. Now, we know that there are vortexes that need to be closed. There are portals that need to be closed, and they reach up pretty high like pillars. They go up as pillars. Now, like the water blessing, like doing the water blessing, you can apply the Sky Protocol. But there's 2 ways to do the Sky Protocol. One with feathers, and the other one is when you actually get up in the cloud.
Oh.
So, yes, getting up in the cloud. But we have discovered that many portals and vortexes open. It's very dangerous work if you try to do this from the ground. That's very dangerous work anyway. But when you apply this protocol, no one will know you're coming, and they'll think you're just flying through the clouds, which is fine by me. You know, this is the neat part about being a Waikara. It's behind the scenes. So if you get in a plane, you happen to charter a plane. You know, and I know there are planes that have, you know, service to being able to place your ashes, the ashes of your loved one out the portal. They have a little portal for that. So what you would do is the water blessing, but you would do it over the cloud, and then you would place the pounamu, cross the form of pounamu as fine as you can get it, and the kotahara, and drop it right out there. If you like, throw the water out there with it all too. It'll settle in the cloud, but you do need to get a cloud that is going to hold pretty thick. So there is always a timing for this, and it's always on a shoulder season. It's only a certain period that you want to do the Sky Protocol when you're actually going to get up there, because, you know, it would be nice to have a timing, the timing right down to when you land, the lightning comes. For this, you require the word of Father. For this, you require lightning. And when I'm told that, the vortexes, it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous protocol. Well, yeah. I mean, it's very dangerous to try to close. So you don't actually going to do the whole thing. Father's going to help you. So you want to be there on the shoulder season when between spring, let's say spring and, and when lightning is quite apparent, or you can tune into the forecast, get that protocol up there in the cloud and let Father do the rest. People say that it's dangerous to work and close a vortex. Well, it's even more dangerous to try to go up against lightning and the word of Father. So that is one way. And your intentions and the pounamu, the kutahara, will fuse into the rain cloud and fuse into the water. So that blessing comes down, heated by the word of Father. Just that understanding alone is incredible. Now, this is how you will service Sedona. This is how the portals over the Church of Scientology in the areas over Hollywood can be defeated. This is how many vortices of shadow operations can be tended to. Now,
like in the Azores,
like in the Azores too. Manakuya, yes. Just like in the Azores. Kaurapoka. So when you go to the Azores, you meet us there. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have fun. Hi, Vera.
Hello.
Tikopono.
Hi.
Hello.
Have you started?
Yes, we have, but it's being recorded, so you can always review.
But isn't it 7 o'clock?
No, it's 10 a.m. I'm in Pacific time.
So you have changed the time. It's 1 hour earlier this Saturday.
No, I think the daylight saving switched things around and even got confusing. But yeah, I forgot about that.
Well,
oh, you're here. We still have more time.
You're here, Tikaponi. Welcome.
Tikopono, we still have.
No, but it is disappointing to me.
We still have 45 minutes more. Or maybe an hour. We can stretch.
Okay.
It's fun. So we were just.
Yes. I have a question. It's unrelated, so we may not be able to answer it here. It's about we're working in our seal, and our seal goes really high, and we're protected by a lot of people. But as we get into this work, I'm finding that there's certain people who may not want us doing the high work, and they might put a seal on us that's, even though we're in this seal, of a lower dimension. But then it got cracked. But so we're in the seal, and then we have, help with faith. So are there other things we can do to protect ourselves when we're out and about or in conversation with people?
I'm not sure what you mean by cracked.
Oh, well, I guess I experienced that. I talked to some people, and they, even though I'm within the seal and I'm protected and I have guardians all around, somehow a 4D seal attachment came on me for a while, but it's gone now. So I was just wondering, I didn't see it coming. So are there ways that we can protect ourselves as Waikara from that kind of thing when we don't suspect it happening?
Well, always try to understand your destinations. always understand where you are. Try to fully understand where you're standing, where you've placed yourself. Always understand where you're taking your kidney to. Never just try to do things haphazardly anymore. You are being tracked to the 4 dimension. Do you have fillings in your teeth? Mercury fillings? It's time to remove your mercury fillings. The other thing is to also remain steadfast into the fact that you are impenetrable. But always in the small details, always know where you are standing. Know where you're going to, who you're going to meet. Don't always let it just roll across your path. You must, to protect yourself, you must know your movements.
I just realized that now, that people that come across my path now may not always be the best people who come across my path.
Of course.
And okay. So all right. So I'm kind of new at this. So
no, but you're
it's
not,
a surprise.
It's not that you're new at it. It's just a matter of closing down and just being very, very succinct about what you do and where you go during the day and night. What you want to achieve during the day. What do you stand for? Who do you serve? The wider that you cast, the wider that you have this, this understanding of what you stand for, the more open you are to attacks. So what do you stand for? I close mine down into the areas for that reason. I keep it very narrow, and I'm very happy to be with those who I know and love and have been working with. And anyone else being brought in can be brought in through referral, through a friend, but to also to understand who's coming into your field. You are able to surround yourself with kotahara if you are at your home. Even if you're going to a place, take your bottle with you. You must have your spray bottle. You don't feel right, give it a little spray. Don't be shy about that either, wherever you are. Even if you're sitting in a restaurant and people are looking at you, just do a little spray around yourself, boom. It'll soon make those little Klingons run away. So don't be, I don't know if you do that. So, and I know we've said this.
This is helpful because I think that's at the point I am at now, is I need to close down a bit more and just focus on this.
Yes. You have enough on your plate with your brothers and sisters and the children of the seal to be able to, if for whatever reasons you're gathering wisdoms or teachings or learnings or business or whatever it is, there's a wonderful community of your brothers and sisters who are of the same understanding as you. And you're not having to train anybody or guard yourself from them. Perhaps there's always things to look out for, but always have your small bottle of water, always have your puroko, and always say to yourself, you are impenetrable.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I will do that. It was by phone. It was by phone.
Yeah. So whack your phone. Whack your phone.
Okay, they did it by phone. So I need to do something with my phone. Okay.
Yes. My phone my phone jumped out of my hand and smashed its own glass.
Okay. Thank you. That was very, very, very helpful. Yeah.
It was funny the day that happened. When my phone did that, I was like, oh, it jumped out of my hand and broke itself. And then I looked at it and the mother's vessel was open. I went, oh, very good. Okay. So I just left it like that. But not saying that you will, but just realizing that attacks come from the 4th dimension and they're part electrical, part spiritual. And they can come through their fillings, the mercury. It's the machine. There's a machine attack, the cyborg attacks too. So just be aware of that. Begin to start removing the mercury from our bodies, from our teeth especially. I am hopefully beginning to do that myself. But also, make sure you have those little things with you, the water, your ponamu, and the fact that just keep saying, I'm impenetrable. And what are you looking at?
It was tricky because somebody had asked for help generally, and I went to help, and then I got something back that wasn't good. So I think I'm learning to close down my group. Close down my group.
If you're going to help someone, that's great. Make sure you spray them. Log them in, spray them, drop some kotahara on them before you approach them, before you put your hands on them. Be very aware of that. I mean, you see me do it when I seal somebody. They've come for the seal, and this is wonderful. The first thing I do is I spray their hands, and I'll drop kotahara around them and on them, and then I feel comfortable with touching them. Yes, Vera.
So how do you do that from distance? Are you seeing the person and you spraying around the image of them?
So when I do
for example?
You mean during the seal, or just
Yes.
as a matter of, during the seal, as we touch hands through the water, yes, we're connecting to the water. So the connection goes through the water and is already the mother's water. So I'm happy, I'm okay with that. You understand? And I'm already programming, and we're imprinting the crystal or the pronomen at both ends. And so that's the connection is not through thin air. The connection is through water.
Ah, yes. I also wonder about this with, because when you spoke, Tahi, I was thinking about,
Yes.
because I'm very sensitive, and what's working for me, can you hear me? Has been when I'm not thinking that there is an enemy. So I understanding the intention, and to keep it, to know what one is doing, and also not to make it like a personal, it's beings and of course, if I clean, as I've been cleaning my house, I've been meeting everything that I haven't loved, or that doesn't know of the light within here. And I had some extraordinary moments, especially in the kitchen, like you said, in the oven.
Yeah.
And,
Wow. That's great.
So to me, it appears
in the oven.
frozen.
Sorry, I'm very. That's
yes, and I am not a big cooker, but this related to a relationship I used to have.
Oh yes, yes.
Because he jumped into me. The child in him came into my belly, and that has been hiding in the oven. And but I'm thinking, I'm finding, if I can stand in love and not thinking I am against anything, helps me a lot not to be open for attacks, because it's not about I'm better, that's worth, the dark is bad, the light is good, because that's the old time. That's the old way of thinking and viewing how we used to operate. And I've been faced with that in my home, if I place myself in just love and wow, this is fun, and it's not even personal. That's the space I found, the womb. It's a neutral space. And that's a task just to be there. But in that neutrality, the love expands, and there is no judgment. It's the judgment that creates problems, it seems.
You're absolutely, yes.
Vera,
Wonderful.
thank you, Vera. Vera, thank you. That's exactly what I'm looking for to expand into, especially how you mentioned the womb and neutrality, and to live in love and not have fear or anything like that, but to live in love, but yet to realize that I need to protect this in being so beautiful. So thank you so much, Vera. That was so helpful.
There's a understanding about the womb, yes? that the cosmic womb or the terrestrial womb, the biological womb, that when there is an infection in the womb, infections must be removed in order for the child to enter into its purity. So there is not an understanding of resistance or like you say, there is an understanding of protection and security for the womb. Like when the mother is about to have a child, and they find out that she has something in her womb with her, the understanding is to try to remove that infection. Let's just say it's an infection. Maybe it's a cyst, or maybe it's whatever. To remove that infection for the health of the mother, the health of the womb, and the health of the child. Now, this doesn't mean that we are taking shadow and saying you don't belong. The shadow does belong, but shadow doesn't know it's doing the work of light. And shadows sometimes forget that it's also doing the work of light, because like for instance, those that stood against the DAPL, the Dakota pipeline, okay, that's a resistance to the pipeline. But interestingly enough, because the pipeline was coming in, it also showed everyone how valuable water is. Now, the value of water was raised. The public value is going sky high, and that may be the intent of the shadow. The shadow may be intending that the value of water go high. So the more that people resist the shadow of the water, the value of the pipeline, the more the value of water increases. Is this a good thing? Well, yeah, water is valuable, but also works in favor of the shadow. But does the shadow know it's also raising the value of water?
Can you add in pain here? Because
Yes.
I feel pain when I see nature and it's contaminated. I do feel it.
Absolutely.
And that pain can also be an open door. How to be with that?
How to be without pain is to fully let go and loosen the grip on land, on flag, on tribes, and loosen the grip on the people. When you loosen the grip on all of that, you will let the pain go, as it will transmute this way. The water, the oil. See, the planet can have oil on top of the ground, in the water, or inside its belly. It matters not, because the oil belongs to Earth. Now, the simple reason that we are feeling pain from it is because we want to drink the water. And so there's an understanding that for us, we feel the pollution is the pain. Pollution is the pain. But I would offer this, all matter of primaries, land, water, sky, and all elements of all constructions belong to the planet. And so it is only us, the beings that wish to consume elements of the planet, of deciding that this is painful. But the mother will tell you that it matters not to her whether oil is on the ground or in the ground, because it belongs to her.
But there is also that animals die, and there is certain plant life. I can see where we have our house. So, because this is, I found, is the greatest obstacle I found in me, where to place my intention when it comes to the rape of the earth, and when there is,
Again, there's an infection, and if that is the infection of the pipeline that is placing oil on the land and is harming the animals and creatures, I'll remind you of this. At the movement of the tectonic plates, all animals, all creatures were removed and then replaced. All creatures will be replaced. Mother will return all life. At her intention, yes. Is it our intention? Well, that's the part that we disagree with. And this is the work. That's why there is work. Because we are removing creature at our intention, as opposed to the intention of the natural cycle. We are interrupting part of that natural cycle by, yes, placing animals in zoos,
Yeah.
poisoning creatures, having pets in your home, and likewise, and other such understandings. So, intention through mother, I do not have pets. I do not keep animals. I have a high respect for all animals, all creatures. And most importantly, if mother decides that the planet will shift with a little more than ease and grace, then many creatures will be lost, but will be replaced, will always enter.
I can understand that, but so how to place oneself now, what's going on with Earth and our consciousness and Earth consciousness, how to best be there now?
Your expansion is correct, and the expansion the expansion of love is correct. It's required. In fact, we were talking about compression and expansion just weeks ago with the ascended master, the Bindu master. So you're absolutely correct. Where do you stand? What do you stand for, Tikopunu? What do you stand for? You must have a decision on this. And where you will find it when you begin to deliver these protocols, either one of them, which one works, which one supports you, what you stand for. Shadow being returned to light is and when I say this, and when we understand shadow being darkness, not necessarily darkness. You know, we are all children, so we all children return to the light. How do you look at this perspective? Then how do you stand? What do you serve? There must be service given here. Yes? You must be of service some way or another. One way or another.
And I've come to, I want to serve in relation according to what's most beneficial at this time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because I do understand the blueprint. I understand the distortion, and it's such a gap, and humans in the middle. Because I've been part of groups who are just doing energy work.
Yes.
And I feel I need something more tangible than that as a human being. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
And to be engaging also on the physical level, which we are doing. The energy is getting into the physical realm, stirring up. So I'm wondering right now what's the best way, because
Whenever I apply a protocol like this, at all times, I stand in the power for the mother, in the light of father, to serve the child who enters, that is the eternal memory, the way. Now, when I say this, when I am removing shadow from the house, it is not me doing that. It is mother, it is father. And what happens here is that it's not a forcing of the shadow, forcing it to go to light. It is mother saying, come, it is time to go. Now, when that happens, it's not as you've experienced, it's a softness. It's a softness. It's not a harsh, the feminine can be hard and as hard as the masculine. But when they emerge into the understanding of the balance through these protocols that I have experienced, and some of you have, is that there's a softening for the shadow, that the shadow, no matter how big and strong it may seem to be in the instant, in the presence of mother, father, becomes a child and doesn't stand up but comes down. And you will find, and you may have experienced the tugging at your legs or at the pant legs, because the child is resisting the return to light, but will always in the end understand that it's the child to return to the light.
Yeah.
Always the softening. These protocols are always through softening. They're not from, although it might sound big, bad, and tough sometimes, really no. Through the mother's vessel to return the shadow to crystal form, to return to the elements, thereby returning the energy to the primary, mother, child, father, eternal memory. vibration, energy, frequency, first family, of which we are.
That was very beautiful. Thank you.
And so soften when you are with these protocols. It is a softening.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get out to do more, when you get out to find the places you want to go to, or how you stand and how you serve, these experiences become more apparent, the more learning. It's a matter of doing. They are physical. These are physical. These are conscious physics applied through quantum modalities that helps you to work in the invisible and to make what's invisible visible.
Yes.
So you can not be of fear and be of the heart of mother and the light of father.
Yes.
I'm sorry it took all the way around to say that, but everyone must decide how they stand and what to stand for. I can only say that that's what I stand for. I do not say what do you stand for. You decide.
Yes. Yes.
And I like it. I have fun. Yes, Lynn.
At the beginning of the session, you mentioned that Eve requested turning the light off for the night magic. And can you go into that a little bit, applications for that?
Yes, I may invite her to explain a little bit of that too at some stage. But what she has suggested is that the utilization of night magic, which is a part of Kachakuti Mesa wisdoms and teachings, is that rather than turning the light on, activating the White Star Apex Mountain to full 100% right now, she suggests that we we let the night magic do its thing throughout the shadows of the Black Forest. And so night magic is another perspective, utilizing the allies, certainly through some of the medicines of the Hathors and the medicines of Sekhmet, which is also mother. It's kind of a dark, warm feeling. If you close your eyes and you stand next to a volcano, it's dark, but you feel the warmth. And this is night magic. That feeling that you might not be standing in the light because it's so dark, but the warmth of the car, which is the heat or the warmth of mother, the warmth of the volcano. There's an understanding. The best way that I can understand night magic is so that the night magic permeates and works through the shadow, as not to alert, as also not to alert, any sort of rebellion or any sort of resistance in a hard way. Certainly until we're ready to fully activate the White Star Mountain in September.
Forest Speaker, may I speak to the night magic? Because I work with it all the time. So
right. You have a better understanding than I do.
Since we're in the PMT tradition, this is how Eve and I have worked specifically when we have felt something coming to attack, and something that wants to diminish a light. So in the Pachacuti Mesa tradition, everything has a spirit double, and the name of that is sombra, which means shadow. So even your kotohara has a spirit double, and that double is the balancing of the light that walks in the shadow. So what we do is we don't focus on the light aspect, we focus on the spirit double that has the expansive mother energy. So it's not as threatening to whatever is being worked on. So that way it remembers too, hey, I've walked in you with the shadow. We are brother, we are sister. And I remember I am light as well. So it's a befriending of the energies from a different frequency. And that's what I do when I feel an attack, because I did get attacked this week. And what I did is I went into my shadow double, and I went to the thing that wanted to attack me. And I recognized I had a spirit of vengeance within me that it was working through. And I befriended it, saying, I understand vengeance. I have been vengeance. I've wanted justice. I've hungered with the anger. And yet, here I have softened. And when we can befriend it from that place of, again, our maternal womb, but yet standing with the truth of the Father, then their child awakens. So that's what the night magic is about. Hopefully that explains it a little bit more.
That was fantastic, Hamati. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Yeah, that was very, very interesting and wise and helpful. And I can even see it from the standpoint of just being stealth about what you need to do for a while, you know, but getting into that spirit double is very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, that is, and as I always say, I cannot teach you anything. You're already a master, and so it's wonderful to hear the story from Hamati, and you know, applying the night magic as she spoke. All of the modalities really can be funneled through these protocols of the apex, through the pyramid, through the healing lagoon, through the sky protocol, through and so what you have learned. And so this is interesting when we get to the April when I arrive in Switzerland. Eve wants to apply the night magic in April when we get there to the Black Forest. So this is going to be interesting how we're going to anchor that, how we're going to anchor that and have it hold until all the way to September. I know that there's some other calculations to be made, so we'll, but I'm looking forward to utilizing that piece of wisdom there, knowledge. Yes, Vera, how are you okay, Vera? Tika pono.
Tika pono te whaia.
Tika pono te whaia.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I need to watch, and now I have the Kotahara. So I need to, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So I am now going to start using the Kotahara. I've been just focusing on items and the logging and the turning of the water and healing my body instantly. With the protocols, loving my body, spraying myself, exploring, singing it. That's where I'm kind of grounded right now. And the next step would be to integrate the Kotahara and the apex, I don't remember the name.
Tetrahedron apex.
So I don't, yes.
We can simplify that even and call it the primary protocol and the pyramid protocol. Just
is that I can have in my home, right?
Yes, you can do in your home. You can do with your brothers and sisters to affect real estate between time zones connected to your brothers and sisters that you want to apply. You can apply any one of these protocols over long distance, over multiple time zones.
Because I must say, I feel Scandinavia has been appearing strongly to me. I also spoke to Eve a few nights ago, and it became even stronger. And I felt everything is going on in America, and there is an imbalance in it. And I can sense coming here would restore something. And then I thought I will look at a map and trying to see what I can do from distance. Yeah.
So she
yeah.
can she could call me or Lynn or Danielle or somebody, and we can make points. Forrest was saying that we should be starting to try to do this together. Okay.
You don't only show up in spirit, Tikapono. You show up in the conscious physics of the quantum modalities. The conscious physics of the quantum modalities is not merely showing up in spirit. You are actually showing up. So when you apply when you apply these protocols, you can actually stand together. You know, it's like physically being there more than just saying, I'll be there in spirit. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it'd be more effective to apply the protocol through either the primary or the pyramid over long distance to affect any real estate between you and the other time zones. And it's very powerful this way.
I would need some help with that because I don't know how to apply that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste my time being here because in this country, what can I do right now? Because there is a control system here that is kind of starting to release. And it needs to be loved. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can. You see, that's what Hahi and Lynn and Hamadi, they can join you. You know that you can do the kawa, to place the kawa board, to place the kotahara on, to scribe the primary, to place the intention. Now you know this. Now, all you need to do is do it at the same time with your brothers and sisters on different time zones. And then you can apply that together. And they may get behind you on the same intention. Let's just say, we're going to support Sweden today. We'll put the intention into the protocol and we're going to drive it towards, we're going to drive that into intention towards Tikapono to assist Sweden. That could be your next thing to do. Let's just say, you know, you got to give it a light code. So a high number, a number that shows up on a day that is a high number. You need to synchronize it into a high number. Yes.
Have you spoken of that?
Yes.
When?
Yep. I'm fairly certain over these last few.
Vera, he spoke of it a little bit before you got into the call.
Oh yes.
Some of us forests, like myself, are not able to tell when those days are. So when would be a good time for us coming up, thinking about, he said it could be a celebration in Sweden, it could be a special day, some kind of light code day.
Remember that there was so much war. War was created on specific days. Yeah? So much energies were chosen on specific days. You can utilize those high numbers and flip it. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say 1776, yes, in the United States was a big number. That's a big day. Let's just apply a protocol on that number and that day. Now pick a time. So we always talk about 7, 11, 1, 9 as being big numbers. So you're in Sweden, which is 9 hours from Pacific time, which is 6 hours from East Coast time, which is 5 or 6 hours, which is 6 hours from Samadhi. So you have to synchronize your whole light codes, your time zone, and your which day. Okay. So who's at the extreme? At the extreme end is Tikapono. She's at the extreme end of the time zone. So we have to correlate with what's going to go towards Tikapono. Let's just have Tikapono. We'll say to Tikapono, let's log in at your 7 p.m. or let's log in at your 1 p.m. or let's log in at your, let's just say 7 p.m. That means everybody else in downstream of your line, of your timeline, downstream of your light code, has to come into sync on a high number, but at a number that hits your 7. Okay, now that's number 1. Number 2, agree on a date, and that you might find the date, like how he said, a memorial, a celebration, or you might just find the date that is specific to what you want to do. So it might be an 11. The day might be an 11, but the calendar date might accumulate to an 11. You want a date that accumulates in the numbers to an either 11 or a 7 or a 22 or a 33. Yeah. So find a date.
You're talking about the master numbers.
So we would just add up March, whatever number, we would just add up the 3, and so what would equal an 11? Like a 3 and a 7, like March 7th? 8, 9, 10. No, that's a 10.
Remember that
March
you are
8th, March 8th, Women's Sisterhood Day.
Remember that you are in a 1 year.
Yes.
1 year.
So any number that adds up to the high number, it must include that 1.
So
year.
like Women's Sisterhood Day was March 8th, 9, 10, 11. So that was because that was an 11? Okay.
Well, that's a good day for me. I did something on that day. I anchored Venus on that day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah. And so understand these, because it's a very important part of applying so much energy to a protocol and over 3 or 4 time zones. If all of you did it together, you would be talking 4 time zones.
Yes.
Now realize that 3 people form a tetrahedron or a triad. Now what would 4 people form? You would form a second triad. That means you're forming 2 tetrahedrons from 4 people. Yeah? Right? 3 is 1. Well, you got 5 actually, so there's 5 of you. And so you actually, 1, 2, 3. You will have 3 tetrahedrons with 5 people.
Yes.
3 combinations. Now that's inside the triad. Look inside there. That is the real estate you're covering. So what's in here is the amount of real estate. So in other words, there are other time zones in here that sort of merge and go across the country, go across the planet. But not only that, inside the real estate are clouds, mountains, valleys, animals, creatures, water, so much more. And that is where you're healing. That is what you're cleansing when you add in your intentions. So you've got 3 of these, and that's 3 times the real estate, because there's 5 of you to apply it. What is your intention? What do you want to do? Blah, blah, And so, are we supporting Sweden? Yes, we are. But realize that you're crossing over 3 tetrahedrons, 3 triads, meaning that intention also goes to the other real estate.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
It is beautiful. I like doing that. Done it quite often. I like doing it. It's so much fun. And it's beautiful. You're going to get messages. Just perhaps maybe you might know somebody in the town, in the area, and say, hey, we're going to do this on the day. Tell me what you see. Maybe you'll see something. But in any case, let's have a cup of tea and we'll talk about it and see what you saw. So this is how it becomes very cohesive. And this is how you get the support when you're not alone, Tikapun. Just because you're in Sweden doesn't mean you're alone. You're not. Now, this is how your brothers and sisters can be with you. Until they are with you, until we have a gathering of sorts.
Yeah.
I'll be there in Switzerland very soon. Kirsten is coming down. She's in Germany right now. She wants to be sealed in Switzerland, so she's coming to meet me. She is so close to you, so now you will have her. And you will have Eve. And Orsi is coming from Hungary, so who knows how far across Orsi will come, but I'm sure there's all of a sudden, there's 4 of you. And then there's Loreto in Spain. Now there's 5 of you. Yeah, they're all in, and you're all in that same wonderful understanding of the Waikara and what you want to achieve, how you want to achieve it. Hey, that was the apex, the primary protocol, the pyramid protocol, the sky protocol, the healing lagoon protocol, the self, home, and land, the land, water, sky, self, home, the water blessing. What else? What else are we missing? I said 7, right? There's one more, aside from the seal, which I'm afraid that is an area that is. But there is something that's close to that can be delivered, and that is called the union of angels.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the union of angels too?
Yes.
It's a very simple configuration. The union of angels is a union, can be a union of one or more persons. So you can unionize yourself to your angel light, and you can recognize yourself. Of course, you are sealed, but this is also a way to offer this blessing to someone else, which is not quite the seal, but it is a blessing. Okay, so let me say that. Let me show you this configuration. But I will illustrate it if I haven't already got it somewhere. I know I drew it, but I can. Where I put it, I've got papers everywhere. Let me illustrate it very quickly. It's two spirals first. The two spirals, and they're joined together. It's starting from the west to the east. You go in a counterclockwise for the internal, from west to east. It becomes it's counterclockwise, and then it goes east, and it becomes clockwise. And then there's also a door, the door of fire. And I'll bring this to you in a second here. I'll just roughly sketch it. And the door of fire is at the midway point between east and west. So let me place east and west, south and north. Okay, now can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
it's on video now, so you can easily take a snapshot. Can you see it clearly?
Yes.
Now, this is really neat, actually.
Yeah.
I've applied this a couple of times, but this is also the New Earth matrimony. Protocol for the New Earth matrimony. In other words, so from you will have the person stand in the west, that's the internal. You will have them travel to the east through the door of fire, and that is the external. When they're standing on the external, you will congratulate them, and you will give them the blessing of the 3 T's. The 3 T's you will just bless them in the name of, log them in, do the logging, and just give them the 3 T's blessing. Now, this configuration, you will place on the floor. You can also place it on a mat, and you can roll that mat up and take it with you. If you wish to apply the protocol, then unroll the mat and then have them walk through it. This is how I did. We did a matrimony for good friends of mine. We used instead of a mat, we used rose petals to do the configuration. Rose petals. Now you can be very elaborate all you like. Take whatever measures you feel will add the atmosphere and the energies for you. But as you're giving someone the blessing, perhaps you're marrying them, giving them marriage. Perhaps you're unifying them to themselves, unifying their physical to their angel power, to their angel light. The understanding. This is also really important for those who are coming from the prisons and the jails and the rehabs into the social life. So you can return them to the external, but they must become whole, or assist them in becoming whole to give them that blessing. It's a very powerful blessing that goes beyond religion and faith. It is a union of angels, and it can be for the individual and for a wonderful couple, or for a whole lot of people all at once. You decide. And that is the Union of Angels protocol. Make a celebration. This is ceremony. This is the actual ceremony part that I really do like. Really do enjoy this part of ceremony, where there's the unification. And so although I've always said I'm not with ceremony, this is one that I am with, and so is the seal. But, you know, I think you would have fun with this even with yourself. Make yourself a vinyl mat of white.
Okay.
Do these colors in the rainbow colors so that they transform colors through the spiral. You can have the door of fire, which goes right through the center there. You can have that in yellow, or you can have that in rainbows, but it's whatever you feel. Put your directions on there so you always know which is the internal and which is the external, west to east. They always travel from the west to the east. Remember, you're always standing in the east receiving them. They must enter from the west in this protocol. You are dealing with the doors now. You are catering to the angel's door and the door of fire. The children are already here as they stand before you. So it's not an understanding of the door of child. It is understanding of the child that is already here to stand and enter from the angel's door in the physical, to enter the door through the door of fire, to stand in the east, to the external, to receive themselves. And put a blessing to them. You see how that works? Isn't it neat? It's a lot of fun. That's 7 protocols. Questions about that one?
So they walk, you say everything, and they walk from the west to the east through the door of fire.
They stand in the west on the spiral.
Yes.
You log them in, and then you invite them to come through the door of fire. Now, the door of fire represents what they've been through in their lives, that they're getting ready to shed, that they've come through the fire in their lives, to stand here and be fully received in the now, in the external. And then you log into the blessing and the intention, and offer them the 3 T's at the forehead to complete the blessing. Now, you can have a whole bunch of people with you, all dressed in white or rainbow colors, or all around you, whatever the occasion. But I will say to you, it's such an amazing, protocol. There were 18 of us on that day that we did this protocol to celebrate the apex mountain at the Sierra Nevada. It wasn't to activate it, it was to celebrate it and become one. It was a reunion of angels, that which one day, sometime soon, I hope, that we can have a reunion together with all your brothers and sisters. And perhaps at the Donna Lake, the Donna Peak in Sierra Nevada. At the White Star Mountain on the Turtle, maybe the White Star Mountain on the Butterfly. Hey, maybe the White Star Mountain on the Dove. You choose it. Decide which place, you know. But that is a wonderful gathering, a wonderful ceremony. Beautiful, very beautiful. You can include water in this, absolutely. You can include the moon if you like. You can include all manner of emerald light, blue light, white light, diamond light. You can include it all. You know the colors. How do you feel about it?
As a teacher, I feel really happy about it. It seems really, really beautiful and something very immediate for them. So I like that. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it too, is it just can be done. Roll out the mat. Just roll out the mat and have at it. Yeah. Give them a gift if you like when they stand on the east. and you give them the blessing, but also give them, perhaps you have a pounamu to give them. Perhaps you have a gift of something to commemorate that moment, you know? You decide. Maybe it is a ring. Maybe it is a staff. Maybe it's a kotahara. Maybe it's a pounamu. You know, you decide. They may decide, you know, they may decide. It's very instant. You know, it's something that I always thought could be brought to the health clinics, the mental health clinics, the places where people are coming out of the rehab centers or from the penitentiaries as part of their protocol to exit and re-enter the community. I always thought that this could be a wonderful blessing for them, because it's a celebration for them and not merely a kicking you out onto the street, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to see that one day if someone was able to do that.
Yeah. I wonder, Dan?
Yes. Tikapun.
I don't know what I'm struggling with. Maybe it's I don't know.
There's so much to consider. Yeah. There's perhaps so much that you want to do. There's so much that you wish to achieve and support those in the highest intentions, to do the work in the highest intentions. You will only know that by doing it. Once you come from inside your home and of cleansing the items in your home, to start moving into the community, into the valleys, into the lakes and the forests and the mountains, you begin to understand more. But I suggest that that's where you will learn more. See, yes, I have had teacher, and I had to do what I had to continue to remember and doing. And as I traveled through these workings of the past 3 decades, I learned more as I carried further on. What I'm bringing to you is some of the eternal memory, yes, but I've also brought the understanding of some of these upgrades. So you may bring some upgrades too, who knows? All of you will have the ability to bring something to this and take it further. This is where we are at the moment. When you apply it and you go to apply it, if you apply all 7, imagine the information that you'll receive from those that you are delivering these protocols to. You will learn something from their confirmations. Certainly you've learned something from the tree and about yourself, and that's a wonderful upgrade. But that information doesn't come from the human, but comes from the natural cycle of the mitochondrials. And so,
Yes.
get out there and do it.
But it's in me. There is I don't know. I would like to do it together with other Waikaras.
Yes. Then this will be so.
To feel the validation of its power and its direction.
Absolutely.
I've done so much alone. I do it every day. I go out toning, or there is something in me about that.
You know what's a fun thing? Is when you complete a water blessing, always look for the pair, the male and the female, to confirm the actions. They will always appear to you if you're paying attention. Watch for the bird of the male and the female, or maybe the human couple who were kissing on a bridge that you didn't see there earlier, but all of a sudden when you completed the protocol, the couple are appearing. They will appear. They always do.
Yes.
They always do at the completion of a protocol, such as a water blessing. It's typically a water blessing. And unless you don't go and do that, you won't get to see them.
Mm.
Now, if you're going to be with us and others on the protocol, yes, of course, we'll go together. Well, we can go together, Tikapuno. No one said you're going alone. Who said that? I didn't say that. I'm pretty sure I didn't say that. You're
Right.
not alone. You're not alone.
No.
You said we walk together. Is that correct?
We follow each other.
We follow each other.
That's why the login is never a log out, because we always log in. We always follow each other. You're never alone. If you are standing in the forest at the tree, I am with the tree. I am there. Any one of us are there. If you are standing at the beach and your toes are touching the water, I am there. We are all there, because when you log in, we are also logged in. When you log in, you're logging into us. When we log in, we're logging into you. You're not alone. When the eagle flies above the trees and flies above the valleys and mountains, the eagle is not alone. The eagle need only land on the branch to know that we are there. The eagle soars across and swoops like Tiukara. Her name is Tiukara. She always thought she was alone, and we left her there. I said, you are flying over the valleys and the mountains and the trees, and when you land and perch on the branch, you're landing on me. We land on each other. We carry each other. Yes, we catch each other. Yes, we follow each other. Yes, one follows, we all follow. One leads, we all lead. We follow to lead, we lead to follow. We follow each other. Now, I'm going to be there in September in Switzerland in April, so we will offer the opportunity for you to join Eve and I to do the night magic for the Black Forest in April. Okay?
Yes.
We'll invite you down. Also, Kirsten is on her way down. She will be sealed. We can all go together. See how fun that is? It's going to be fun. I look forward to that.
Because I know when I've met, something is going to shift in me. And I need the physical encounter with the brothers and sisters. Then I know something is going to shift. And that has also to do with this country, you see. It has to do with the land here. It's kind of waiting for a shift. And I just know it. I can't explain it.
Well, we hear the cries of and the calls of the rabbit. We have heard this. I have heard it. Remember, it's the rabbit is calling. It's the main law, the main medicine of the He'a Motu. He'a Motu is calling the same way as Kahuku Motu is calling. It's the same way the dove, the Namu Namu is calling. Oh, we hear their voices. We hear the magic. We see the symbols all over the world now.
Yes.
See a lot of rabbits everywhere. See a lot of butterfly, a lot of dove. You know, the condor, a lot of albatross. We see them everywhere. It's interesting. The calling has come, and the manakuyas and the grandmothers are calling us all in. You see, because they stand by the main law.
Yes.
And so do we. So do we. That's what we stand for. We stand for. I stand for, at least. I expect that you do. Okay. It's time now. It's been over 2 hours, but for at least the time Vera's been with us. Just to recap, when you're ready to, if you're able to, please try the haka as best you can. You don't have to be perfect. It's just an attempt. Make an attempt. You know, and it's already been done twice by 2 so far. If they can do it, you can do it. It's quite easy. You've done, I'm sure in your life, done some screaming and yelling before. This time, you can do it for intentions of the highest intentions. Okay? So 7 protocols there. Watch this video. I'll get it set up for Monday night. And Vera, you can see what we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
And so I want to thank you all. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
For setting a groundbreaking Masters series. and the groundbreaking Waikara series that will hopefully bring more to learn and receive these teachings and wisdoms, not just from myself, from all of us. So
Yes.
in the name of Ite Ingoa, Te Whaia,
Te
Te
Whaia,
Tama,
Haya,
Te
Te
Tama,
Tama,
Te
Matua,
Tama, Te Matua,
Wairua
Wairua
Tapu.
tapu.
Te
Te
Waru.
Wairua Tapu.
Mauri ora.
Mori ora.
Love you all. See you again
Thank you.
soon.